The night air clung to the stone walls as Lucien watched shadows flicker across the courtyard while Selene whispered, "You can't face this alone." Valen emerged from the darkness, his grin cutting through the gloom. Lucien's voice was low as he replied, "I never asked to be the Shadow Prince." Selene reached out, trembling, as the stars above shimmered like distant promises. Valen laughed, mocking them, while Lucien's hand brushed Selene's in a spark of forbidden desire. Alaric's watchful eyes gleamed from the shadows, knowing danger was near. Finn stumbled forward, uncertain, his presence barely noticed. Each heartbeat carried fear, longing, and anticipation. The courtyard seemed alive, reflecting the turmoil in Lucien's heart. Selene whispered, "We have to defy what's written," and Lucien knew she was right, even if the world burned around them. Inside the castle, Lucien's mind raced as he listened to Selene explain the prophecy, while Alaric's eyes followed every move. Finn tripped over a loose stone and muttered a warning. Valen's shadow loomed over the corridors, chilling the air. Selene clutched Lucien's arm as he struggled to focus, and Alaric warned that time was short. Lucien and Selene exchanged a determined glance, while Finn fidgeted nervously. The castle walls seemed alive with magic, whispering secrets of the past. Valen's presence was felt in every corner, unseen but threatening. Each step echoed like a drumbeat of fate. The storm outside rattled the windows, adding urgency to every heartbeat. Lucien knew the choices ahead would shape everything. The group reached an abandoned village, its wooden houses crumbling as Lucien led the way, while Selene examined strange markings on the walls. Finn whispered about ghostly sounds while Alaric observed the surroundings carefully. Valen appeared atop a broken roof, laughing at their caution. Lucien motioned for silence, Selene nodded, and Finn shivered at each echo. Alaric warned of traps and hidden mechanisms as the wind howled through shattered windows. Lucien felt a surge of determination, while Selene brushed cobwebs away from inscriptions. Valen's grin flickered in the moonlight, watching them carefully. Each step forward was cautious, yet the village seemed to guide them toward the center where an ancient secret awaited. In the village square, Lucien discovered a hidden map while Selene traced paths on the cobblestones. Finn's voice trembled as he pointed to faint symbols. Alaric leaned over the map, explaining secret routes. Valen appeared suddenly, blocking their path with a menacing grin. Lucien stepped forward, sword ready, Selene whispered encouragement, and Finn clutched his pouch nervously. Alaric warned them of a trap nearby, and Valen's laughter filled the square. The moonlight revealed ancient carvings glowing faintly, and every shadow seemed alive. Lucien signaled for a cautious approach, while Selene studied patterns. Finn glanced at every corner, uneasy but alert, and Alaric prepared them for what was coming. The chase began as Valen lunged from the shadows, forcing Lucien to swing his sword, while Selene dodged deftly. Finn stumbled but recovered, racing alongside Alaric, who shouted instructions. The wind carried Valen's mocking voice as the forest edge drew near. Lucien's heart pounded, Selene kept close, and Finn's fear turned into resolve. Alaric's calm words steadied them. Valen's attacks were relentless, shadowing every movement. Lucien's focus sharpened. Selene whispered strategy, and Finn mirrored her courage. Alaric guided their path toward the safety of the hills. Valen's figure twisted in the dim light, disappearing for a moment. Every step was a test of bravery, and the night held them in tense anticipation. The forest was alive with shadows, as Lucien and Selene moved cautiously through the thick underbrush, while Finn stumbled behind, tripping over tangled roots. Alaric's voice carried over the rustling leaves, warning of unseen dangers. Valen's laughter echoed from deeper in the woods, mocking their every step. Lucien tightened his grip on his sword, as Selene whispered reassurance. Finn flinched at every snapping twig, and Alaric's calm demeanor steadied them. The mist hung low, curling around trees and stones as they pressed forward. Selene pointed to distant ruins, where answers awaited. Valen's shadow flitted between the trees, ever present. Each heartbeat felt like a countdown to confrontation. Lucien knew the forest was testing their courage, and Selene nodded in silent agreement. The ancient ruins loomed ahead, broken pillars silhouetted against the fading light as Lucien's eyes scanned every shadow while Selene traced carvings with trembling fingers. Finn muttered fears under his breath as Alaric studied runes silently. Valen emerged from a hidden archway smirking, his dark armor glinting. Lucien took a step forward, and Selene urged caution. Finn backed away nervously, his hands shaking. Alaric's voice echoed, explaining a hidden path beneath the stones. Valen's laughter rang sharp, chilling the air. Lucien clenched his jaw, readying for the inevitable clash. Selene's expression mirrored determination. The ruins whispered secrets of power and danger, and each heartbeat carried tension. Lucien and Selene descended into the hidden chamber, torches flickering against damp stone walls as Finn's footsteps echoed nervously. Alaric led the way, chanting softly, and Valen's shadow hovered at the entrance, smirking. Lucien gritted his teeth, moving closer to Selene, whose hand brushed his in silent courage. Finn stumbled, but Alaric steadied him. Valen's laugh rolled across the chamber, a sinister melody. Every stone seemed alive with ancient magic, whispering warnings. Lucien signaled Selene to follow, their eyes locking in understanding. Finn whispered about a strange glow ahead. Alaric nodded, confirming the prophecy's location. Valen's presence made the shadows writhe, and the air thickened with tension. The chamber opened into a vast hall, where Lucien and Selene froze at the sight of the glowing altar, while Finn clutched his tunic in fear. Alaric stepped forward, explaining the ritual's power, and Valen circled the edges, eyes glinting with malicious intent. Lucien felt a surge of energy, as Selene whispered encouragement. Finn's legs trembled as shadows twisted around them. Alaric pointed to a hidden inscription, and Lucien nodded, understanding the clue. Selene moved closer to the altar, fingertips grazing its surface. Valen's laughter echoed, bouncing off stone walls. The hall's torches flickered wildly, reacting to unseen forces. Lucien's grip on his sword tightened, ready for what was coming. A surge of light erupted from the altar, blinding Lucien, Selene, and Finn, while Alaric chanted urgently. Valen roared in fury, recoiling as shadows were torn from his grasp. Lucien shielded Selene, feeling warmth flow through his veins. Finn stumbled forward, catching the edge of the altar. Alaric's voice grew louder, commanding the magic to obey. Valen's sneer twisted into panic as the chamber trembled. Lucien and Selene exchanged a glance of resolve, united against the darkness. Finn finally steadied himself, inspired by Alaric's calm authority. The altar's glow intensified, filling every corner with brilliance. Lucien stepped closer, hand outstretched toward the energy. Selene followed, and the hall seemed to pulse with their courage. Lucien, Selene, Finn, and Alaric arrived at the mountain pass, its cliffs towering above them as the wind howled. Valen appeared at the summit, smirking confidently, challenging Lucien. Selene scanned the terrain, pointing to hidden ledges, while Finn stumbled over loose rocks. Alaric reminded them to stay together as Lucien raised his sword, eyes fixed on Valen. The cliffs echoed with Valen's laughter, sending chills down their spines. Selene whispered encouragement. Finn swallowed his fear, and Lucien adjusted his stance. The path was narrow, treacherous, yet illuminated by a sliver of moonlight breaking through dark clouds. Every step felt heavier, yet determination burned in Lucien's eyes. As the group ascended the pass, Valen dropped boulders from above, forcing Lucien to leap aside. Selene cast a protective spell, while Finn scrambled to help Alaric deflect debris. The wind roared, and the cliffside crumbled beneath their feet. Lucien yelled instructions as Selene countered attacks with energy pulses. Finn's nerves transformed into precision, and Alaric's calm hand steadied them. Valen's laughter echoed from the heights, taunting them relentlessly. Lucien's heart raced, Selene's focus sharpened, and Finn's determination shone. Every step brought them closer to the summit, and every challenge tested their unity. Near the summit, Lucien confronted Valen directly, sword clashing against Valen's dark blade. Selene hovered nearby, shielding Finn as the wind intensified. Alaric shouted strategies while Finn dodged sharp rocks. Sparks flew from the blades, illuminating the stormy night. Valen sneered, attempting a powerful strike, and Lucien parried with skill. Selene's voice rang out, amplifying Lucien's strength. Finn's courage strengthened, and Alaric's calm guidance prevented mistakes. The mountain trembled with their battle, and lightning revealed fleeting glimpses of the rocky terrain. Every clash tested their limits, yet unity and courage held them steady. Lucien finally gained an advantage, forcing Valen to retreat to the cliff's edge. Selene extended a hand to stabilize Finn, while Alaric reinforced Lucien's stance. Valen glared down, plotting a final strike. The wind howled, lightning flashed, and the mountain trembled beneath them. Lucien's determination shone brighter than fear. Selene's spells pulsed with protective energy, and Finn steadied himself. Alaric's voice carried wisdom, guiding each movement. Valen's shadow flickered as he tried a desperate attack. Every heartbeat felt like eternity as the confrontation reached its peak, and the storm above mirrored their inner turmoil. With a final surge of courage, Lucien struck decisively, disarming Valen. Selene's protective shield stabilized the group, and Finn's confidence radiated through every movement. Alaric's calm nod reassured them, while Valen stumbled back, defeated yet defiant. The storm began to calm, revealing a quiet, moonlit summit. Lucien sheathed his sword and gazed at the horizon. Selene smiled gently, Finn exhaled in relief, and Alaric's eyes reflected pride. Valen disappeared into the mist, leaving echoes of his laughter. Together the group stood strong, the mountain still trembling with the remnants of their battle. They had survived the storm, yet the journey continued, each step stronger than the last. The group descended from the mountain, Lucien scanning the valley below, while Selene held Finn's hand steady. Alaric's voice guided them through hidden paths, warning of traps and shadows. Valen's presence lingered in their minds, and the wind whispered ominously. Lucien's resolve strengthened, Selene's focus never wavered, and Finn's steps became more confident. They paused near a cascading waterfall, catching their breath. Alaric studied the terrain, noting signs of ancient magic. The valley stretched endlessly, mysterious and alive. Even in the quiet, the tension of their journey remained palpable. As they moved deeper into the valley, strange lights flickered in the trees. Lucien's eyes narrowed at the unnatural glow, Selene whispered protective incantations, and Finn's curiosity sparked. Alaric warned them of illusions, cautioning against distraction. Shadows twisted around them, forming shapes that tested their courage. Lucien drew his sword preemptively. Selene's hands glowed with defensive magic, and Finn clutched a makeshift staff. The lights danced, teasing their senses, and the wind carried faint whispers. Every sense was heightened. Every step felt like a test of trust and unity. Suddenly, the ground trembled as ancient guardians emerged, colossal stone creatures animated by old magic. Lucien shouted commands while Selene prepared a protective barrier. Finn stumbled, then regained composure, striking at smaller creatures. Alaric directed their movements, combining knowledge and instinct. Rocks shattered and dust filled the air. Valen's threat still loomed, and the guardians seemed to respond to his lingering influence. Lucien's determination shone brighter than ever, Selene's energy flared, Finn's courage grew, and Alaric's strategy held them alive. Every clash reverberated across the valley. The guardians pressed harder, forcing Lucien to fight with all his strength. Selene's shield expanded, deflecting debris, while Finn attacked relentlessly with newfound skill. Alaric coordinated their positions, anticipating the guardians' movements. Lightning from above illuminated the chaos, reflecting in Lucien's determined eyes. Selene's magic shimmered brightly, protecting the group. Finn's confidence surged, matching the strength of his companions. Valen's lingering aura seemed to influence the guardians, but together the team adapted, dodging, striking, and defending with synchronized precision. Every second felt like an eternity under the Guardians' relentless assault. Finally, the Guardians faltered, crumbling to dust as Lucien struck a decisive blow. Selene lowered her shield, and Finn exhaled with relief. Alaric's eyes reflected pride and exhaustion. The valley fell silent, save for the whispering wind and distant echoes of magic. Lucien surveyed the terrain, alert yet calm. Selene and Finn exchanged relieved smiles, and Alaric guided them toward the next path. Valen's shadowy presence remained a distant threat, but the immediate danger had passed. Together they stepped forward, stronger and more united, ready for the challenges that awaited beyond the valley's edge. The horizon burned with crimson light as Lucien, Selene, Finn, and Alaric approached Valen's fortress. Lucien's heart pounded, Selene's hands glimmered with magic, and Finn gripped his staff tightly. Alaric's voice guided them, warning of traps and illusions ahead. The air buzzed with dark energy, and shadows danced along jagged walls. Every step demanded courage. Every breath carried tension. Lucien's resolve was unwavering, Selene's focus sharpened, Finn's determination burned, and Alaric's wisdom anchored them. Together, they braced for the final confrontation that could decide the fate of their world. Inside the fortress, Valen's presence was palpable. Lucien stepped forward, Selene whispered protective words, and Finn scanned the room for weaknesses. Alaric's voice echoed, reminding them of strategy and trust. Valen emerged from darkness, a figure radiating menace. Shadows twisted around him, and the air thickened. Lucien raised his sword, Selene's magic shimmered like starlight. Finn steadied his aim, and Alaric positioned them for the confrontation. Every heartbeat carried suspense. Every movement demanded precision. The fate of countless lives depended on the choices they made in this moment. The battle erupted as Valen struck with dark energy. Lucien parried swiftly, Selene's wards flared, and Finn launched a counterattack. Alaric guided them with calm precision, reading the rhythm of combat. Sparks flew, walls cracked, and the floor shook. Valen's laughter echoed, and shadows writhed around him. Lucien's strikes grew more focused, Selene's magic intensified, Finn's courage hardened, and Alaric's commands synchronized the group. Every clash rang like thunder, every spell shone with desperate brilliance. The fortress became a storm of light and dark, of courage and malice, where the final confrontation truly began. Lucien and Valen clashed at the heart of the fortress, sparks flying with every sword strike. Selene created a protective dome, shielding Finn as he struck Valen's minions. Alaric called out strategies, guiding timing and movement. The air vibrated with energy, walls trembling from the force of magic. Lucien's strength surged, Selene's power radiated, Finn's determination ignited, and Alaric's wisdom kept them steady. Valen's rage escalated, shadows writhing violently around him. Every second counted. Every decision could tip the battle. Courage, trust, and unity were their only weapons against overwhelming darkness. In a final surge, Lucien delivered a decisive strike, shattering Valen's dark aura. Selene's magic stabilized the collapsing fortress, and Finn's courage inspired the remaining allies. Alaric stood proudly, guiding the group to safety. The crimson skies softened into dawn, the shadows dispersed, and peace returned to the land. Lucien surveyed the horizon with hope, Selene smiled with relief, Finn's eyes sparkled with triumph, and Alaric nodded with quiet satisfaction. The battle had ended, and the journey's true reward revealed itself: unity, courage, and the strength found in trusting one another. The sun rose higher, casting golden light over the reconstructed city. Lucien, Selene, Finn, and Alaric walked through streets once scarred by battle. Lucien observed the rebuilding efforts, Selene helped children with their newfound magical lessons, and Finn laughed with villagers while Alaric offered guidance. Even in the aftermath, shadows of the past lingered, but hope shimmered stronger than fear. The town's energy felt renewed, and every face reflected courage and resilience. Together, they knew the world had changed forever, and their journey had only just shaped its future. Lucien spoke to Selene and Finn near the fountain, discussing plans to protect the realm. Alaric reminded them that vigilance was eternal. Selene's eyes sparkled with determination, Finn's energy was infectious, and Lucien's calm focus anchored them. Villagers carried on their lives, unaware of the battle that had ended. The companions felt a mix of relief and responsibility. Every choice now mattered more than ever, and their bonds were stronger than before. The city thrummed with life, and the morning air carried promise and quiet anticipation of challenges ahead. As evening approached, Lucien, Selene, Finn and Alaric gathered on a hill overlooking the city. The sunset painted the sky in brilliant oranges and purples. Lucien reflected on victories and losses. Selene whispered dreams of a peaceful future. Finn joked to lighten the mood, and Alaric nodded thoughtfully. The wind carried memories of battle and laughter of children alike. Their journey was over, but their roles as guardians had just begun. The horizon stretched endlessly, and hope mingled with responsibility, reminding them that life demanded courage even in quiet moments. Night fell, and Lucien, Selene, Finn, and Alaric lit torches to guide returning travelers. Lucien's eyes scanned the horizon for danger. Selene's magic glimmered gently, Finn's laughter mingled with the crackle of fire, and Alaric shared wisdom with villagers. Shadows were calm now, but vigilance remained. Every life felt precious, every story intertwined with theirs. The city thrived quietly in the night, safe under their watch. Together, they understood that heroism wasn't just in battles, but in protecting and guiding the lives around them, in moments both extraordinary and ordinary. Finally, under a star-strewn sky, Lucien, Selene, Finn, and Alaric stood together in silence. Lucien felt pride, Selene felt hope, Finn felt joy, and Alaric felt quiet fulfillment. The battles had ended, the city thrived, and the bonds forged through trials remained unbroken. Stars reflected in their eyes, mirroring the light they had brought to the world. Tomorrow would bring challenges, but tonight was theirs to savor. Peace settled over the land, and the companions understood that true heroism lies not only in victory, but in choosing to carry hope forward, together. Years had passed, yet Lucien, Selene, Finn and Alaric remained watchful guardians. Lucien walked through the city marketplace, observing merchants and citizens thriving. Selene taught magic to young apprentices with patience and joy. Finn played with children in the square, laughter echoing in every corner. Alaric, now older and serene, shared stories of past adventures. The city, once ravaged by conflict, had become a beacon of hope. Every smile, every action reflected their enduring legacy. Even as life moved forward, the companions' presence ensured that courage and wisdom endured. Lucien, Selene, Finn, and Alaric gathered atop the highest tower, gazing at the horizon. Lucien contemplated the responsibilities he now bore. Selene spoke of new magical discoveries, Finn suggested light-hearted adventures, and Alaric reminded them that vigilance and wisdom remained essential. Their conversation was filled with camaraderie, laughter, and reflection. The land stretched before them, flourishing and safe, yet the memories of challenges past served as constant reminders. Their bond, forged through trials, had grown unbreakable, ensuring the lessons they learned would endure for generations. Night fell, and the city glowed with lanterns. Lucien, Selene, Finn, and Alaric strolled along the peaceful streets, watching the citizens live freely. Selene's gentle smile mirrored the contentment of her pupils. Finn's playful energy brought joy to everyone nearby. Lucien's leadership shone quietly in his protective presence, and Alaric's wisdom grounded the group. The companions recognized that their journey had become a living story, inspiring generations. Peace was no longer a fleeting hope, but a sustained reality, and their united presence ensured the legacy of courage, friendship, and magic endured. Why? On the edge of the city, Lucien, Selene, Finn, and Alaric visited a newly planted forest. Lucien admired the growth of saplings. Selene explained their magical properties. Finn climbed a tree with a joyful laugh, and Alaric meditated quietly nearby. The companions felt a deep sense of fulfillment. Nature thrived alongside civilization, a testament to balance and stewardship. Every choice they made reverberated through the land. They understood that legacy was not only in heroism, but in nurturing the world around them, and that even small acts could shape the future for generations to come. Under a star-filled sky, Lucien, Selene, Finn, and Alaric stood together, reflecting on their journey. Lucien's pride, Selene's hope, Finn's joy, and Alaric's calm wisdom radiated into the night. Their shared memories, victories, and lessons created an enduring bond. The city, the forests, and the people thrived because of their courage and unity. Stars twinkled above, mirroring the light they had brought into the world. Together, they understood that life's ultimate purpose was to nurture hope, inspire others, and leave a legacy that would outlast even their lifetimes. Their story had become eternal,